I'm going to show you how to upgrade your needle the 3rd time by getting the 2nd pale oil in Hollow Knight Silksong. So to do this, you have to go to the Citadel. You have to go up to the top, fight the Cogwork Dancers, go left, and drop down to where I'm at right here. I think you might also be able to get in from the left. Either way, you got to get into this like dining hall. And you got to go to the far end of the dining hall back here, and there'll be this pale oil back here, actually, of all things. So smack it one time, and this guy will wake up. Speak to this guy, Loyal Mergwin, and when you talk to him, after you're done with his dialogue, you speak to him again, and he'll ask you for the Great Taste of Pharloom, promise the wish. So there you go. That's how you start the quest. So in order to do this, you need the Mossberry Stew, Vintage Nectar, Courier's Rasher, Crust Nut, and Pickled Muck Maggot. The next one is super easy. You don't need a lot of guidance for this. So this one is at Bone Bottom in the Marrow. So it's the Moss Druid. And I don't know, you might have to do a quest first. I have a guide for that if so. But after you accept this quest, you come back and literally just talk to her, and she'll give you the Mossberry Stew. Then head to Halfway Home over in Greymore. It's right here on the map. Talk to this guy, and this guy has one of the things, but it's not going to be free. So you're going to have to pay 480 rosaries. So after you pay, unfortunately, it's not quite that easy. You have to go get it yourself. So he opens up a secret basement, and you got to enter this. You can go down in here, and it will be down at the bottom right here, and you inspect this, and then you have to fight the enemies at the bottom. And more than just that, you actually have to kill all the enemies in the entire basement, and it'll take a little while, and you'll have to go up, more will spawn, and you'll just have to kill a bunch of stuff. And at the end, you'll get one of those scenes, and that's how you know that you finished the job. Then go to the very bottom and take the Vintage Nectar. Then what you're going to do is go to Sinner's Road, north of Greymore. You'll need at least the wall jump in order to get here. You're actually going to need double jump in order to do this, so you won't be able to get this one until much later in the game. You have to go to Mount Fay to get double jump. I've videoed that if you need help with that. So here, you go all the way to right here in Sinner's Road, at the end of this road right here, and you'll see this thing up here. You have to double jump to get in here, and then go all the way up to the top, and then in here, you can go to the right, and then over to here, hit this thing, and get up into here, and then hit this thing, open up that door. And now for one of the 2 hardest parts of this whole quest. So we're going to go up here, we're going to ring this thing 3 times, and this will start a boss fight. That's why you want that shortcut, so if you die, you can come back from the bench. So these guys are actually very easy. If they attack twice, and then they're just done, and then you can beat them up real fast. Like that. If you need to, you can jump over their heads to get away from them. And now for the actual boss fight. So just stay away from the maggot balls. The maggot balls will waste your heal. You need to jump between them as much as possible, and they'll bounce off the walls, which is kind of a problem. So the thing is, you want to bait out that slam. You can get a free hit or 2 on the slam like that. The attack where they come at you with their butt, that one, you kind of just gotta jump over them and then down slam. And then the one where they do that, where they just smack the ladle into the ground, I tend to just ignore it because it's really hard to get in there and get a good hit on that one. Oh, I just hit by the mags. I'm going to go get rid of them over here. So ladle, we don't want to be near the edge because those things bounce off the walls. And so if you're near the ledge, it can come up behind you and hit you from behind. And so you want to watch out for that. Oh, I accidentally just ran right into the boss. Just gonna heal right here. It should be stage 2 soon. Okay, wherever the boss goes under is where the maggot balls are gonna come from. So keep that in mind when trying to figure out where to go. Okay, boss went in the middle. They're gonna come in the middle. It's best just jump up between them so you don't get hit on the rebound. Again, in the middle, unfortunately. Okay, again, the boss is jumping in the middle, which is the hardest one to deal with. Okay, jump between those. Easier to jump between on that one. knock the boss down again. Just beat him up. Oh, okay, we're on the right, and I got hit by the mag. I couldn't get out of position. I was in a really awkward position for that one. I just messed up bad. I don't know if do I still have maggots? Yeah, I still have maggots on me now. Oh well, no more heals, basically. It's easiest to get through like that, where you kind of go toward the middle like that, up and around like I was doing. But so that's the boss fight for here. That one's pretty rough to do, but it's not too horrible, especially with the bench nearby. So we're going to take that, and that's the pickled muck maggot. For the next one, we have to go all the way to the Sands of Karak over here on the left side of the map. You have to go through Shellwood, through the blasted steps to the left, up, and then to where I'm at. Then you can unlock a shortcut to make it a little bit faster if you die. Unlock the shortcut, by the way. You climb, knock down a spike, and you can make this hole to the fast travel and the bench. Then from here, you're going to need the clean grip and the double jump at this point. You're going to go up here, up to this. And then you're going to go over to here. And over to here. And then kill that guy just so you have time to deal with this. And so now we're right here on the map. We're going to go up through here into this area. Now in here, this part, you might die a lot trying to do this one. So we're going to go here, drop down to, whoops. We're going to drop down to here. And you're going to want to down thrust these. And then gently fall between them down to here. Just gonna kill that guy while I'm in here. So now what we need to do, want to clear this. And while you're down here, clear these as well. So that next time you fall down, it's a little bit easier to get down. You're gonna go through here and clear this. Easier said than done, I know, but you gotta do it. Double jump through here and then glide. Oh, gosh. Okay. Gotta be careful of that guy because you gotta clear these. It'll be easier the second time if you ever have a second time coming through here. Or if you die and you clear these. So we're going to go through here. And then, actually, I think it was down. We're gonna glide in like this. And then get over to this. God, it's a scary spot to be in. Okay, and then we're going to clear these. Okay. I may or may not have misremembered. Yeah, I think I misremembered. Let me clear these out, though. These are really hard to clear. There we go. Okay, that just made things worse. We're going to glide down to here and get back out of there. Instead, we're going to go up here. Okay, and then we're going to go through here. I'm actually going to use this guy to my advantage because I need to get a heal soon. Okay, so now we're going to go up through here. Okay, now we got the next one. There's some silk over here to grab so you can heal. And then here's where I think we go down. Oh boy, this is going to be really tough. Yep, that's going to be tough. Let's try that again. First, let me clear the part on the top as well so I don't do that. I don't want to be crammed in a little space like that. Hold on. God, this is kind of tough to do. Okay. Yeah, this needle is not it, man. This needle is really bad for this. There we go. There we go. And like that. And then we can go over here and break this. And there we go. Okay, so that's all the way back here. Map hasn't updated, though. And then you'll be able to grab this item, which is the crust nut. Then there's the one at Bellheart. So this one over here on the map, what you need to do is there's a quest here to save a merchant, which is to go over to this giant green shaft here and fall down on the left side until you find the merchant and save him. Then you come back at a later date, and there'll be another job for saving the merchant's brother. And that one will have you go where we just were, Sinner's Road. You see that bench icon? Instead, go to the opposite area, the room with all the cage-looking things on the map. And at the top of that, top left of that area is where the brother is. You can go there and save the brother. After you save them, plus having this quest activated, you'll go in here, and there's a bunch of options. You're going to need to get the Courier's Rasher from these two. So take the Courier's Rasher, and then you've got that item. That one is what you're going to need for the quest. Now, something important is you need to do this one last, and what's really crazy is you can't use the fast travel. You can't use the Bell Beast. You have to do this on foot. So the most reasonable way probably is to go through Shellwood, through the blasted steps. Ideally, you've already like gotten through this part before, and then you just go straight through and you know where you're going. It's kind of the way you're gonna have to do it. You might have to practice, or you just go for it, and if you lose it, then finish going just to get an idea of which way you're gonna go, and then go back, grab it again, and do it again. And you have to get that all the way there before it rots. And something else that really needs to be mentioned is if you take damage while holding the item, that also makes it expire faster. So not only do you have to get there fast, you also need to take as little damage as possible. Any shortcuts and things, you're going to want to open them before coming back here. I barely made it in time after getting hit one time and getting lost for like a good 30 seconds. So there's a little bit of leeway, but if you get hit twice, you might not make it. If you get hit twice and linger too much, then you definitely won't make it. So I'm going to turn in all these things now. If you have them all, it'll just one after another turn them in like this. Okay, so we fulfilled our promise. We need some patience. It's going to skip ahead. And then at the end of all that, Great Taste of Pharloom, wish granted. And our reward for this is not only do we get an achievement, Satiate the Grand Gourmand, but we also have this as a reward, which is the second pale oil. So now back in Bellheart, let's go ahead and upgrade my weapon for the third time. So we're going to go inside of here against the Bellheart. I have the second pale oil. Even more oil. Except now it costs 500 rosaries. I'll be back in a second. So as I was saying, 500 rosaries sharpen the needle. I would highly recommend savoring this cutscene as a reward, because that was a lot of work to get all that, especially the Sands of Karak was awful. But yeah. So here we go. The third sharpening. Now we're going to do even more damage. There is one more to get, but it's not until like after you basically beat the game already, effectively. So the fourth one you probably won't get until basically after you've already beaten the game. So this is the last one that's like still relevant towards beating the game and doing all that stuff. But there you go. That was the third sharpening, the second pale oil, and doing that gourmand quest in Hollow Knight Silksong.